To be Fremen is to know hardship, basking under the oppressive heat of their sun and the tyrannical rule of House Harkonnen. It is a life fraught with peril, thirst, and violence. Yet under these harsh conditions, the Fremen have not buckled. They have not only endured the oppression and relentless heat, but been forged by it into the known universe's finest warriors. A society where only the strongest survive and every man, woman, and child learns to harness the unforgiving elements, turning adversity into strength and transforming their very existence into the epitome of desert power. Do you think you've got what it takes to survive amongst these desert warriors? Then welcome to Lortor's Excursions, where we bring some of the most fascinating and sometimes horrifying experiences from across the multiverse right to you. And coming to you today, courtesy of the Lortor's Entertainment Division, is a crash course on surviving a life amongst the Fremen. So let's say you've booked yourself on one of our Lortor's flights to Arrakis, and oh look, you've gone against the captain's advice and wandered away from the ship. Well done you, because now you're stranded in the unforgiving deserts of this world, where the relentless heat saps at your moisture, and deadly creatures lurk beneath your feet. Your one chance for survival hinges on the native Fremen, hardy desert dwellers who have mastered the art of survival on this world. To stumble across a Fremen would be your only flicker of hope in this scorched hellhole. But this hope comes with conditions. The Fremen's communities, known as Sietches, are sanctuaries built on the principles of strength, contribution, and mutual support. They cannot and will not accept just anyone. The Sietches are cautious, their doors are not open to all. To even be considered to join their ranks, you must first prove yourself. The Naib, the leader of the Sietch, along with its members, must see your worth. But how? Well, Arrakis is a world where trust is a currency almost as valuable as water. With the Harkonnens' deceit ever present, the Fremen's suspicions of outsiders, especially potential Harkonnen agents, is a high wall to climb. Respect for their traditions is non-negotiable. The customs and rituals of the Fremen are the fabric of their identity. Your acceptance, your very survival, depends on your ability to show genuine reverence for their way of life. But respect alone is not enough. You must also demonstrate a skill of value, a talent that assures the Sietch of your ability to contribute. Survival skills are prized, as is prowess in combat, as seen with the acceptance of House Atreides' swordmaster, Duncan Idaho, whose bravery and combat expertise earned him a place amongst the Fremen. If you have proven yourself and gained acceptance to the Sietch, you'll now begin a journey to learn the culture, combat, and survival techniques of the Fremen. A rite of passage that demands more than just adapting to a new environment. It's about embracing a way of life, where every drop of water is sacred. The Fremen's entire existence orbits around the acquisition and preservation of water. This scarcity has woven itself into their society so deeply that the most mundane acts of moisture sharing, a tear shed, saliva spat, are transformed into profound gestures of respect. The value your new friends place on water can be seen in water rings, metal rings that circulate amongst the Fremen as a form of currency. These rings grant the bearer the right to draw water from the communal reserves, safeguarded in the Sietch's subterranean basins. As part of your training, you will learn to help fill these reserves of water by maintaining the various moisture-collecting devices such as wind traps, which are designed to capture all moisture available and turn it into water for the Sietch's basin. Of these moisture collectors, the death still stands as a stark reminder of the pragmatism and lengths your Fremen friends will go to. In this society, while one's flesh is their own, their water belongs to the tribe. The death still reclaims the water from the bodies of both fallen comrades and vanquished foes, ensuring that even in death, the individual contributes to the survival of the community. But now you've filled yourself on the Sietch's precious water reserves, you surely don't want to waste all that water sweating away, do you? No, of course you don't. That's why Stilsuits were invented, complex full-body filtration systems designed to conserve against unnecessary loss of bodily water by reclaiming moisture lost through physical exertion. The porous base layer of the suit absorbs sweat, while salt precipitators reclaim the body's lost salt. A face filter and nose plug absorb moisture lost through breathing, while the suit's thigh pads reclaim water through urine and feces. storing all this lovely moisture in catch pockets across the suit, ready for you to draw from a tube in the suit's neck, allowing a Fremen to survive in the desert losing a mere thimble of water a day. Now, being hydrated is all well and good, but what am I meant to eat, I hear you ask? Well, fear not, for the Fremen are as resourceful in their diet as they are in survival. The Sietches harbour modest farms that defy the desert's sterility, producing dates, apricots, and even varieties of rice, all with the most sparing use of water. Supplementing this are the protein-rich meats of the blood-drinking birds that haunt the skies of Arrakis. And of course, the one item of every good Fremen's diet, the Spice Melange. Native to Arrakis, this rare and valuable spice will become a constant companion, present in everything from the morning's first sip of spiced coffee to the evening's last gulp of spiced beer. But why, you might wonder, does this spice hold such a sway over the people of Arrakis? The answer lies in its remarkable properties. With each meal seasoned, each drink flavoured with melange, you'll notice a transformation within. Your consciousness will expand, your mental faculties will sharpen, and your intuition will reach heights previously unimagined, while the spice also subtly increases your natural lifespan by 3 to 4 times its natural length. You might even be one of the incredibly rare individuals for whom melange unveils precognitive abilities, allowing you glimpses of potential futures. As the melange integrates into your system, its most striking physical manifestation becomes apparent. The whites of your eyes gradually turn a deep, penetrating blue, a distinctive mark of long-term spice exposure, known as blue in blue, or the eyes of a bat. While this change is mostly cosmetic, it also symbolizes your body's full saturation with the spice, and your irreversible bond to it, as not only is melange incredibly addictive, its withdrawal symptoms are lethal, forging a never-ending reliance on the spice, tethering your very existence to the continuous consumption of melange. Well, now that you know how to survive in the desert and your body has been augmented by the spice, it's about time you completed the desert's most daunting challenge, one which you must complete before you can truly be considered a Fremen: riding a sandworm. These colossal armoured leviathans are drawn to rhythmic vibrations on the surface, and they are the desert's guardians, devouring anything that dares disrupt the tranquility of their domain. Your training teaches you to walk across the sands in an unrhythmic pattern that renders the worm's senses useless against your approach, allowing you to lay down thumpers to create rhythmic vibrations that summon the worm, ready for you to hop on its back and use a pair of maker hooks to pry back one of the worm's scales, allowing sand to flow under it and irritate the worm's exposed flesh. The worm will then rotate the exposed scale and rider upwards, and refuse to dive under the sand and expose the flesh to more pain, allowing the rider to control the worm and move swiftly across Arrakis. Now, you might be thinking, this desert survival stuff is all well and good, but aren't the Fremen meant to be mighty warriors? Surely I'm not just set up for a life of moving across the desert, planting weather forecast poles, working in the factories of the Sietch, and collecting spice to bribe the Spacing Guild to keep their eyes off of us. Well, yes, a life of hard conditions and guerrilla warfare against the brutal Harkonnens has created a society where only the strongest warriors survive, and disputes are resolved by hand-to-hand trials by combat, turning the Fremen into perhaps the finest hand-to-hand combatants in the known universe. Small bands of Fremen comprising men, women, children, and even the elderly have outmatched and captured the Emperor's elite Sardaukar, a feat unheard of across the galaxy. It helps that their combat style is unique and foreign to most in the galaxy, who have grown too comfortable with the use of personal energy shields, an invention that has done away with most firearms and replaced it with precise melee fighting styles. Where others prioritize slow, deliberate strikes to penetrate shields, the Fremen embrace speed and unpredictability without shields, for they agitate the sacred sandworms. Their style is both raw and refined, making them a nightmare for any shielded foe. And while your Fremen brethren do make use of unconventional weapons such as lances and mauler dart pistols, the Crysknife, born from the tooth of a sandworm, is the epitome of Fremen weaponry. Not just a tool of war, it is a symbol of identity and belonging. Its blade is not to be sheathed without first tasting blood. It is also not to be seen by an outsider without them being killed or cleansed, for fear of the enemy obtaining one of these knives and using it to infiltrate a sietch. In recent years, Fremen warriors have been made all the more lethal, thanks to a new fighting style taught to them by Paul, Duke of House Atreides, and his mother, the Lady Jessica. The Fremen call this fighting style the Weirding Way. Based on the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood's Prana Bindu mind-body discipline, it requires exceptional physical and mental mastery, but allows practitioners to move at incredible speeds in battle, making you and your fellow Fremen warriors all the more lethal when launching assaults on Harkonnen's spice mining efforts. And if you do a good job, you might even become one of the Fremen's elite Fedaykin Death Commandos. A small disparate group of warriors the like of the Fremen could prove to be the elite force for any noble house, worthy of their loyalty, or a thorn in the side of those who seek to oppress them. Except despite House Harkonnen's reporting that these desert warriors numbered in the mere thousands, sparsely spread out across the desert, they are in fact at least over 10 million strong, and fueled with religious fervour having found their messiah in young Paul Muad'Dib. The Fremen now stand united under the banner of House Atreides, ready for you and your legions of fierce Fremen fighters to prove to be an unrelenting force of nature, one which the known universe has never seen. How long do you think you'd last in the deserts of Arrakis? Are there any groups you'd like Lortors to visit next? Let us know down in the comments and make sure to subscribe to join us again soon. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.
The Lortors Spaceport is your destination for tours through the most fascinating worlds, groups, and events in the multiverse. From sci-fi to fantasy, we have it all. So make sure to subscribe and book your next trip with us.